Tomato pickle has been an important part of my childhood holiday meals, with two of my aunts making it. But the recipe that I'm going to be sharing with you today is the one that has been in my sister's family for generations and was given to me by her mother-in-law. Now I'm going to dry the tomatoes completely well, and it's important to have them completely dry before we proceed with the next step. I'm going to scoop this portion of the tomato with a melon scooper, and if you don't have a melon scooper, you can always use a knife. Next, I'm going to cut the tomatoes into two halves. Now I'm going to close the lid. Allow the tomatoes to cook on low heat. As you can see, the tomatoes have started to peel now and they're cooked. And now I'm going to turn off the heat. Allow the tomatoes to cool down a bit and take off their skin. The tomatoes are now cool enough to take the peel off. Now the blender is going to do its job. Now that the tomatoes are pureed, I'm going to take off the seeds with the help of a strainer. I'm using the back of a spoon to take off the seeds. Now I'm going to put the puree back into my blender and then add in some spices. Five green chilies, 15 dry red chilies, 4 teaspoons of tamarind, and half a teaspoon of salt. Into this pan, I'm going to put in about half a cup 125 ml of sesame oil. The oil is nice and hot now, and before it starts to smoke, I'm going to put in a teaspoon of mustard seeds, half a teaspoon of yellow asafetida powder, a teaspoon and a half of turmeric powder, and then our spiced tomato puree. Allow these tomatoes to cook for a while until the oil starts to separate, and in the meanwhile, roast some fenugreek seeds. Roast these seeds on a very low flame. Fenugreek seeds tend to lose their bitterness when roasted lightly. And now I'm going to transfer these seeds into my mortar and pestle and crush them into a coarse powder. You can always do this in a blender, but those who know me or read my website know how much I love this tool. The fenugreek seeds are coarsely ground. Let me just check on the tomatoes. The oil has started to separate now, and it is time for me to add in my crushed fenugreek seeds. About 3/4 teaspoon of yellow asafetida powder and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now I'm going to turn off the heat and allow this to cool down a bit before transferring it into an airtight container. Our tomato pickle is ready to serve and it looks wonderful. You can serve this with Indian breads like rotis and parathas or even rice, dal and pulao. Trust me on this beautiful red concoction in this jar can enrich and enliven practically any meal.